everyone, John Cottrell here, and welcome to Power Hour Yoga. This is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice, which means we're going to be moving, flowing with breath. So I've put together a sequence for you, and I've called the class Triangle Pose to Half Moon Pose Flow. So we're moving from one particular posture, going through a series of other postures to end up at the last. So triangle pose to half moon pose. That's it. So this is what you'll need for your practice today. Of course, go ahead and roll out your yoga mat. And I'm going to suggest a yoga strap or a belt or something flexible like this. Part of our sequencing and postures that we're going to be doing today are going to be hamstring stretches, okay? So we're going to do some work just stretching out the hamstrings. All right, there's also some balance involved, so I'm suggesting some blocks or books that you can stack, something like this, because this will help you with some of the balancing postures. And how we'll use the blocks is actually bringing the floor closer to you, meaning instead of getting into a posture where you bring your hands all the way down to the floor, which is going to put an excessive stretch in the hamstrings, and you may not be able to do that. You just bring the floor a little bit closer to you by stacking some books or some blocks. So I would suggest a few blocks. I think that's it. So let's go ahead and begin our practice. So go ahead and join me in mountain pose, so just standing near the top of your mat with your feet about hip distance apart, toes pointing forward. We'll take a few deep breaths in and out. You can breathe in deeply through your nose. Exhale through your nose or out through your mouth. Do that again. Nice, full, deep cleansing breaths. Just help settle into the space as you arrive here, ready for your yoga practice. And just continue with slow, steady breaths, just tuning in, just noticing how you're feeling. Good. Beginning to pay attention to what's going on inside of you and letting go of the things that are going on outside of you. Slow, steady breaths. And you can certainly do this with your eyes open, just gazing forward, or even down at the ground, just a soft gaze. Or you can close your eyes and just continue that journey inward. Taking your time here. This is also a nice opportunity to create an intention for yourself. Whatever it may be, just bring it to mind, bring it to your heart, knowing that our yoga practice can really help to open ourselves, open our minds, open our bodies. It can bring healing, cleansing, problem solving. So just open to your heart to that experience. As you breathe in, just want to feel the breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. And as you exhale, draw your belly in. It's a nice contraction in the abdominal muscles here. Again, as you inhale, just grow nice and tall, long spine, breath rising, filling up your lungs. And your exhale, draw belly in, that light contraction in your abdominal muscles. Just a way of centering, really connecting to center. And like I said, some of our postures today will involve balancing. And so a lot of that balance is key to our strong core center. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out, preparing your body to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach and stretch nice and high. And exhale, just slowly fold forward so it's a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and just make your way down towards your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees to extend your spine, creating a long, flat back. And the exhale, we're just going to fold. You can go partially down or all the way down, whatever feels right for you at this moment. Just paying attention to maybe your low back, your hamstrings, and perfectly fine to put a good bend in the knees here as you fold. Even as you fold here, you can bring in those blocks. Like I said, bring in the floor a little bit closer to you and just resting your hands on your blocks. While you're in forward fold, little weight shift towards your toes. Just lean forward a little bit. Even grip the mat with your toes so you don't fall forward. And just notice how the hamstrings engage a little bit. Just bring some energy and attention to the backside of your legs.
And just preparing for some stretching, some lengthening, since some of our poses today will involve hamstring stretches. Nice leg extensions. All right, from here, go ahead and shift your weight back towards your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting down into a low chair. Look forward. Take your arms out to the side. Then inhale and stand up all the way, reaching into the air. And exhale, bring your arms down by your side. That's our half salute to the sun. We're going to repeat that sequence. Here we go. Inhale, reach high. And exhale, let's fold forward. Again, hinging at the hips, soft knees, making your way down towards your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine. Hold here on the exhale. Just a little change here. Just a long flat back like your table. Again, you can keep that bend in the knees. You probably feel the hamstrings engage more because of this particular posture. You want to feel an energy moving through the top of your head or the crown of your head, leading you forward, while your hips and tailbone feel like they're leading you to the wall behind you. A couple more breaths. Inhaling to create that length in the torso, and the exhale still drawing belly button up towards spine in this case. And then we'll move, shifting weight back into the heels, bend your knees, spread your wings. Inhale, let's stand up tall, reaching into the air, extended mountain pose. Big stretch there at the top. Exhale, bring your arms down by your side. There we are, good. Hold here for a moment. Even take a moment just to roll the shoulders, some circles here, maybe roll them backward a few times and forward, just to kind of loosen up in the shoulders a little bit. And then we'll continue with our sun salutation, starting with Series A. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward, soft knees, slowly, carefully making your way down. Inhale, let's rise up halfway, allowing the crown of your head to lead you forward. On this exhale, fold and bend. Take your time until you're low enough to bring your hands to the mat out in front of you and just start stepping both of your feet back into plank pose or a high push-up position like this. We'll breathe in, just continuing this good straight line in the body. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower your way down in that straight line, coming down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Let's stay here all the way down to the floor. Elongate through the legs, point your toes. Just roll the shoulders back and away from the floor. If you can, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and that action might even lift your torso just a little bit. We'll just call this low cobra. Inhale right here. As you exhale, just push yourself to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, lifting the knees, then hips up into the air, into downward facing dog. Let's just hold this for a moment. Deep breaths. Push hands firmly into the ground so you have good energy in your arms, shoulders, back, and chest while you're in this upside down position. And with the feet, let's do a little pedaling with the feet. So pressing one heel down as the other one lifts, and then just alternate. As you press one heel down, maybe exhale so you feel that stretch, perhaps in the calves, in the calf muscles. And as the heels lift, you might feel this through your toes. And just notice how your knees are bending, hips are shifting a bit side to side. And maybe one more stretch on each foot. Come back to stillness in down dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat into forward fold. Inhale, just re-extend your spine, long and flat. Exhale, fold. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Let's come back up to standing, reaching high. And exhale, arms return to your side. Just pause here for a moment. You can even shake out those shoulders again. All right, moving now to Series B of our sun salute. Inhale, reach into the sky. Big stretch, good energy through your arms. This exhale, take chair pose or chair-like position, imagining you're sitting back into a seat that's behind you. A weight shift into the hips and heels. As you inhale, just reach out through your arms. Then exhale, dive out of your seat, forward fold, all the way down. Inhale, rising to extend the spine just halfway up or less. Exhale, bend Round the spine, bring your hands to the ground, step, walk, or hop both feet back, plank pose. Once you're here, breathe in to draw that straight line. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, bending elbows, lower your way down. You can do that low cobra again, or push hands into the floor, straightening your arms as you lift upper body facing forward into the back bend, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your knees, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Settle in. You might need to adjust your hands and feet for a moment. Experience arriving in the pose. Then we'll flow. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching long. Exhale, extend right foot to the top of the mat, stepping through, landing at the top. Left heel turns to the floor behind you, shifting weight back into that foot so you have an even distribution of weight between both feet. Extending your torso long out over your right thigh. Now, inhale, rising up, reaching into the air, facing forward. That's warrior one. Exhale, fold and hinge. Bring your hands back down to the ground. Let's step back into plank pose. Bend elbows, lower your way down. Inhale to low cobra or upward facing dog. See if you can roll your shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settle in. Then inhale, extend left leg up into the air, reaching long. And your exhale to step through, landing lightly near the top of the mat. Right heel now turns to the floor behind you. Whole foot planted into the ground securely. Extending torso out over left thigh. Inhale to rise up, reach into the air. Warrior one. Exhale, fold, bringing hands back down to the ground. And step back into plank pose. Complete your series. Come on down. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here for a moment. Then we're going to make our way down to the ground. Feel free just to kneel down right here. Sit back briefly in hero pose. And then just sit off to the side, swinging the legs around to the front here. Make sure you're sitting in the center of your mat. And go ahead and roll down onto your back. We're going to lie down with knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Just hold here for several breaths. Just to reconnect to breathing, settling in before we re-engage the body. And we're preparing for our bridge pose, a back bend. So go ahead and inhale and fill up your lungs. Exhale to empty your belly and engage your core center. Then lift your hips off the ground, lifting right up. And if you're able, getting your shoulders and arms a bit underneath you, that might require a rocking sensation left and right several times to get your arms underneath you. And if you can, squeeze shoulder blades together underneath you. That'll help to engage your upper back muscles, helping the stability of the pose. Another way to help stability is to bend your arms at 90 degrees, fingers reaching for the ceiling, but your elbows are still on the ground. And just push down into the floor with your triceps and elbows. And that will stabilize the posture. It might even allow you to lift a little higher. A few more breaths, noticing the full engagement of most of the body here. 2 more breaths. When you're ready to move, just wiggle your toes forward a little bit, just making space in the low back. Extend your arms up into the air, releasing the shoulders out from underneath you, and then you can slowly roll down to the ground. Let's extend the body here. Extend the legs out front, reach the arms behind you. Breathe to extend and lengthen in these opposite directions. Exhale. And one more time, inhale to reach and extend. Now in this exhale, hug both knees into chest, almost like you're rolling up into a little ball. Start to rock forward and back. Paying attention to your breath with a good exhale. Rock your way up to seated so we can come to boat pose. So a little leaning back sensation, an angled upper body, lifting the feet, flexing the feet for some good energy. Shins are perhaps parallel to the floor here. Holding onto the backs of the knees initially to help with that spinal extension. You can maintain the hold of the legs. You can certainly release the legs if you want to. All right, a few breaths here with the feeling of the breath rising to fill up your lungs. You even feel like you're floating up off the ground. And your exhale, draw belly in. Feel that engagement in your core muscles. Let's move here, breathing in. And the exhale, cross legs, roll forward, catch yourself in your hands. And let's step back into plank pose. Hold for a moment. Here, let's just take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips up into the air like this. Now, you can do this every time or any time rather than going through that full vinyasa flow. Let's continue. Let's inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching long, straight line. Exhale, bring right foot to the top of the mat, landing lightly. Left heel turns to the floor behind you, finding balance. Long torso. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. Your exhale, you'll turn your torso towards the left side of the room, bringing your arms down to parallel me. So you can arrive in warrior two, right here. Nice deep lunge, outstretched arms. Let's hold here for a moment. Some nice deep breathing. Good, nice powerful pose here. Let's take side angle pose. Just going to reach forward following the right arm to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate the arms here. So your right hand maybe coming down to inner thigh. Left hand reaching straight up and just reach in these opposite directions so you feel this good opening through the whole front side of your body, including through the hips. This is important since it's actually going to help us with some of our postures today. So we'll hold here for several breaths. Good extensions, good lunges. All right, let's move. Breathing in first. Then we'll exhale. We'll carefully turn towards the floor, fold and bend. Bring your hands to the ground. Let's go ahead and step back into plank pose. Hold. Another shortcut here to down dog. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Nice, strong, straight line. Exhale, left foot steps up to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground behind you. Find that balance, extend your spine. Then inhale, rising up, reaching into the air, warrior one. And an exhale, opening here to warrior two. And once again, let's just hold in the posture, maybe making some adjustments with the feet. Nice deep lunge, check alignment, left knee and toes pointing forward. Nice energy through your outstretched arms. Then our side angle pose, reaching forward, angled upper body. Rotate the arms, left hand reaching down, right hand reaching up. Right here. Now you notice I don't go all the way down to the floor. This is perfect for me as far as the depth of the pose. If you're able to or you want to go lower, you're certainly welcome to, where your left hand actually touches the ground, or maybe your stacked books or blocks. Let's breathe in. And our exhale will turn so you can bring the hands back down to the floor. And step back into plank pose. Once again, a strong straight line as your body realigns. And another shortcut to down dog. Let's take a nice full breath in. And exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat to forward fold. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Reaching into the air, extended mountain pose. Exhale, arms down by your side. Excellent. Alrighty. Let's move into some balancing, starting with tree pose. So first we like to find balance on 2 feet. So feel rooted and connected, an even distribution of weight, left to right, right to left. And I'll try to mirror you here. We're going to start shifting weight over into the right foot. Press foot into the floor. Strong engagement of that right leg. Inhale, feel the breath rising to fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your core, drawing belly in. That should allow you to pick up the left foot. Flex the foot when you lift it, lifting the knee so maybe your thigh is parallel to the floor. Here comes the hip opening part where the knee just swings out to the side, and then placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. Here, just establish balance. You might be focusing on something out in front of you. And once you have that establishment, inhale, reach up into the air. Reach high, exhale, draw belly in, connecting. Keep the breath flowing. Keep the body in motion, even though it looks like you're in stillness. So there's still this reaching sensation. The knee is pointing out to the left side of the room. Even your right foot still rooted into the ground strongly. All right, let's keep the arms extended. Let's swing the left knee forward now, lifting the knee with the flexed foot. And we'll plant the foot back down into the ground. Bring your arms back down by your side. Reestablish that balance on 2 feet. Even take a few breaths. Feel free to circle the shoulders since you had your arms extending into the air for a bit. Shake it out. And let's prepare for the other side.
When you're ready, start shifting weight over into left foot, press into the floor. You'll feel a little leaning sensation that direction too. Long, strong leg. Inhale, long, strong spine, lifting up. Fill up the lungs. Exhale, core engagement. Then peel that right foot up off the floor, flexing the foot when you lift. Knee coming up, thigh parallel to the ground. And here comes the gate, opening up and placing foot on the inside of the standing leg. High, middle, or low is fine. I always default to my calf right there. Then we'll inhale, reach into the air, reach high. Exhale, draw belly in, feel that core connection. Find your drishti point, that's your focal point somewhere out in front of you or down low. That too helps with your balance. Remember, there's still motion here. Reach high. Core engagement, draw belly in. Very good. All right, let's keep the arms extended. Let's swing right knee forward now, lifting the knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground, arms return to your side. Shake it all out. Very nice. All right, let's continue with the flow. We're just going to keep adding on some poses. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, monkey pose. That's just the extended spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the floor, walk, step, or hop, both feet back, plank pose. We'll come down this time, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or choose cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take right leg up into the air. Reach and hold for a moment. Feel that full extension. Hands pressed into the floor, strong straight arms. Right foot's lifted and reaching away. Now you're going to bend the right knee, bring your heel down towards your backside with a simple lift of the knee towards the ceiling. It doesn't have to lift very high. We're just opening up through the hip. And then draw a circle in the air, a big circle if you can with your knee. Just getting into that hip socket. Really want to open up there. Hold it up. Inhale. Exhale, unwind and step through. Right foot to the top of the mat, left heel turns to the floor behind you. Extended torso, inhale, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, opening warrior two right here. All right, establish the posture. Hold for a few seconds. We're going to set up for our next pose, triangle. We're going to break this down a little bit. Go ahead and just relax the arms. Now straighten the front leg. Now if you have a lot of distance between the feet right here, feel free to bring them closer if you want to. I'm just going to bring mine in just a little bit closer because that's fine for triangle. Now place your hands on your hips. Push your pelvis down, okay? And feel the torso lifting up. Also notice that your hands hopefully are just pretty even on the hips. Imagine you're holding like a bucket of water right here, okay? Because we're going to tip that bucket over that right leg, and that water is going to pour out. And of course, your torso angles and sits in the pelvic bowl right there. Okay, so I'm really just kind of just tipping sideways, just like this. And I'm just from here, I'm just going to extend my right hand down, left hand up. And you notice I'm not down very far, and there's a reason for that. It's because I'm just laterally moving here, which means there's not a lot of movement in the pelvis. Okay, stay where you are. Let me turn this way. Okay, so it's pretty flat. Okay, I'm just kind of moving laterally here into triangle, just like this. Now, if you just push your hips back a little bit, see how I just push my hips back? It doesn't have to be far. When you do that, it's going to unlock the hips a little bit more and actually allow you to slide down a little lower. Okay, so all it takes is just push hips back towards the wall behind you, and that should open you up a bit to take you down lower. Triangle pose. Come out of this posture, we're going to put a good bend in the right knee, lunging, coming up to warrior two. Let's just go ahead and reverse the warrior since we're here. Right hand reaching up into the air, good. And we're going to windmill, bringing the arms all the way around and down to the floor, stepping back, plank pose. Come down if you like, chaturanga. You can just skip this and go right to down dog or go through the full flow. Up dog, into downward facing dog. Let's do that same thing on the other side. Here we go. Inhale, extend left leg up. Hold on the exhale. Establish strength and energy. Press into the ground with the hands. Reach more through that lifted left leg, creating a lot of space. And then bend the left knee. Bring heel down towards backside, lifting the knee to create the hip opener.
hold there. And then if you'd like, draw those big circles with the knee. Okay, and getting really deep into the hip socket there. It's a nice rotation. Okay, lift and hold. Inhale. Exhale to unwind and step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. So that right heel plants into the floor. Extended spine rising up, reaching into the air. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Settle in to arrive in the posture. We'll do that same breakdown to get into triangle pose. First, just relax your arms. Then, straighten the left leg. Keep the distance here, or shorten the distance between the feet if you'd like. Place hands on hips. Okay, nice alignment here. Push pelvis down just to lift up through torso so there's even more space in the belt line so we can do that little tipping action. So we're going to pour that bucket of water down the left leg. And just for me, I'm just kind of tipping laterally, just to the left here. And I don't have a lot of space to move into. I kind of get locked right here. So I can stay here in my triangle pose. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. But that same action, you just push your hips back a little bit, and you can slide down. And it doesn't compromise the pose at all. Your torso is still long. You're still very much in the posture. And notice, because we're working with the straight leg in front, we're getting that nice hamstring stretch. Remember, we've called this class triangle pose, which we're in right now, flowing to half moon pose. We haven't gotten there yet, but this is the initial posture. Coming out of the posture, bend the left knee, rise back up, warrior two, and then reverse your warrior. Left hand reaching into the air just to get a nice left side body stretch right there. And then we'll windmill to bring the hands down to the ground in front and step back into plank pose. Come on down, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's go back down to the ground. You can kneel down to take a seat or even hop forward, cross your legs and take a seat. Might want to scoot back a little bit so you can extend the legs out front. This is where you might want to use your strap. Okay, this is actually optional, but a nice tool to have. Okay, to have the strap handy, but we don't need it just yet. We're going to staff pose. You're going to keep the legs straight, flex your feet, keep the legs straight and strong. We want the spinal extension as well, so place your hands on the ground by your hips. Push into the floor to help extend spine. Even roll shoulders back. A little squeeze of the shoulder blades together behind you. That's also going to help with stability. If we engage belly, drawing belly in, and upper back muscles, it keeps the upper body strong and it can stay lifted. Couple more breath. This is our staff pose, or also called Dandasana. You can soften a little bit here, and then taking your strap, wrapping it around the bottom of the feet. Hold on to the strap. The arms can stay relatively relaxed here. We're going to inhale. A little tug of the strap to help us stay tall in the spine. Exhale, pull belly in. Another tug of the strap a little bit, not too strongly, and then hinge forward a little bit. Couple breaths here so your body gets used to this sensation. Long spine initially, long straight legs initially, if you can. All right, if you choose to go a little further and deeper, you might even change the placement of your hands on your strap. You can even put a good bend in the knees and even round your spine. All fine to do here. If you don't need your strap or it feels like it's a bit of a hindrance, you can release the strap. Just let it, set it to the side and just rest your hands on your shins, or even walk your hands down towards your ankles, and maybe you can even touch your toes. So we're going to hold here just to really experience this nice leg stretch. Use deep breaths here. Even imagine you're actually sending the breath directly to the muscles of the legs, especially through the hamstrings and calves, so they lengthen. Let's take 3 more breaths here. If you're holding on to the strap, just release the strap, free up your hands. Everyone, let's all reach forward. We're going to inhale, reach all the way up, lift up until you're in a nice L shape. Reach high. Exhale, bring your hands down by your hips. Return to staff pose, so that same press into the floor to help elongate through the spine. Look forward. Take a breath or two. And then you can relax. All right, let's move the strap out of the way. Let's come to cobbler's pose or bound angle. Just bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together just to get that stretch out of the legs for a moment, and just sit up tall. Now you could hinge forward if you want to get into the inner thighs a little bit, but not necessary. It's really just to kind of take that stretch away, the action of the stretch of the hamstrings away for a moment. From here, begin to lean back. As you lean back, bring the knees together, and then the feet should be able to float into the air. Return to boat pose. Nice elongated spine as you inhale. Exhale to engage core. And let's flow. Breathing in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Just continue drawing the straight line through the body. Let's take a shortcut here to down dog. Okay, here we're going to inhale, extend right leg up into the air, reach long. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Stay here. We're going to high lunge, which means left heel will stay lifted, all 10 toes will point forward. You still may need to shift your weight back a little bit, but elongate your torso out over the front leg. And then hinge from hips, rising up, reach up into the air, high lunge. Reach high, lunge low. You want to hug to center. Feel like the inner thighs are hugging in towards each other. Draw belly in, and even imagine you're holding onto something above you, over your head, between your hands. From here, rise up until the legs are as straight as can be, especially that front leg. Reach and lift. You're going to turn your body towards the left side of the room. The left heel comes to the floor. Drop arms to parallel. Look, now you're prepped for triangle pose. Feel very tall and lifted, lots of space in the belt line. We're going to reach out, push hips back a little bit, maybe reach out more, and then rotate. And there's our triangle pose. Couple breaths here. We're going to add on a pose. All right, if you are pretty deep in this tipped over fashion, you may want to lift a little to create some space in the belt line. Turn your torso so you're facing the front of the room, but hinge forward until you're about parallel to the ground and reach back with your hands here. This should continue that stretch through the back of the front leg here. You can even go lower if you want. I'm going to call this pyramid pose. I'm going to call it first pyramid because we're going to do another version of this posture. Let's bend the right knee, nice lunge, reach forward through the arms, rise up, you'll be in warrior one. As you exhale, just fold and bring the hands back down to the ground. Step back, plank pose, hold again. And a shortcut to down dog. Let's do the same sequence other side. Inhale, left leg extends up into the air, straight line. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Stay here, high lunge, right heel stays lifted, all 10 toes pointing forward, shift your body weight back. Hands should be very light so you can easily lift them off the ground. Hinge from hips rising up, facing forward, reaching into the air, high lunge. Keep reaching high and lunging low. Hug to center, hands, belly, and legs. Just for stability and balance. Then rise up, straightening the legs as best as you can. Turn your whole body towards the right side of the room, bringing right heel to the ground. Drop arms to parallel. You'll be prepped or ready for triangle pose. Reach out, angled upper body, push hips back a little, making a little bit more space in the pelvis. Keep reaching forward through left hand and then rotate. That'll bring this left hand perhaps a little lower. Triangle pose. All right, lifting a little bit if you need to, turning torso towards this front leg, fold over that leg. First, you can just come to parallel to the ground. Reach arms behind you. They're also parallel to the ground. If you're able and you want to, you can certainly dip a little deeper. First, pyramid. All right, bend the left knee, a good lunge here, swing the arms forward, hinging you up into warrior one. And fold, hands down to the floor, step back, plank pose. Let's complete the series with Chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. All right, take a moment and come to your knees, even sitting back into hero, just getting weight off the hands, because now we'll need those blocks or books, okay? So get those and set them maybe at the top of the mat, maybe in front of the mat. They can even be on the mat, but just somewhere up there, okay? Now we're getting ready to get into some balance, okay? So we're going to go through that same sequence. We're just going to pick up the pace a little bit and add on to it, okay? So let's come back to our downward facing dog right here. Here we go. Inhale, extend right leg straight up, strong straight line. Right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Left heel stays lifted. Find that centering and balance. When you're ready, rise up, reach up into the air. Establish the centering and balance. Rise up to straighten both legs. Pivot left heel to the floor, opening up, arms to parallel, prepped for triangle. Reach out, tip hips back, keep reaching, triangle pose. Okay, let's go to first pyramid. So a little bit of a lift, turn, fold, okay, parallel to the floor, reaching back. Alrighty, now, you're going to bend the right knee, for a little lunge, bring the hands down. You want to bring in the blocks. Okay, I'm bringing one on either side here. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you, so everything's facing forward, nice and square and aligned. I'm going to step my blocks forward, little push so I can actually balance on right foot, so I can easily pick up the left foot. And just lift it until you feel a little action in the left hamstring. But you're going to bring this foot back down onto the floor directly behind the right heel, as if you're standing on a balancing beam, maybe a foot or a foot and a half behind it. Now you want this left heel to press into the ground, so there is a weight shift back. See, this is great. This is why you want the blocks, see? So I don't have to touch the floor for this. And you want those hips really drawing back and extend the spine. A little trick here is squeeze the legs together, okay, towards center, even though they are on this balancing beam. I might even call this balancing beam or our second pyramid. Step the blocks forward again. Let's re-lift that left leg just a bit. Bend both knees and just set the left foot down next to the right foot. Come all the way down to forward fold. Place the blocks down. Long spine. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Let's step back into plank pose. Chaturanga. Up dog. And downward facing dog. All right, other side, same thing. Inhale, extend left leg up, reach. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Find that balance. Take your time with this if you need to. Then rise up, reaching into the air. Find it, feel it. Hug to center, especially in the inner legs, because you're going to be using that in that second pyramid, that squeezing to midline feeling. And then lift yourself up, straighten the legs. Pivot right heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms to parallel. Prep for triangle. Reach, push hips back, reach more. Tip it over, rotate arms, triangle pose. Let's get ready for first pyramid. Lift, turn, hinge, come to parallel, reach back with the hands. Bend left knee, bring hands to the floor or go get those blocks. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you so everything's nicely aligned here. Keep coming forward. Just step your blocks forward so you can get weight into this left foot. So you can pick up the right foot. And I would suggest flexing the foot so the leg is strong. Keep lifting until you feel an energy in the hamstring. You're going to bring that foot back down behind, directly behind the left heel. Land on that balancing beam. All 10 toes pointing forward. Step back until the right heel, the leg behind you, the foot behind you, is pressed into the floor. Using these blocks to help you extend your torso. Squeeze to center with the inner thighs. This is our second pyramid or balancing beam. I'll just call it balancing beam. All right, step forward again using the blocks. Bend or soften the knees. Pick up the right foot and just place it down next to the other. You'll be in forward fold. Let's just leave the blocks here. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing, reaching into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. All right, how are you doing?
All right, we still haven't gotten to half moon, so let's get to our half moon pose right here. Again, you'll need those blocks, okay? So let's see, I am going to stack 2 blocks right here on kind of on the right side of my mat, okay? Just follow me with this. So get your blocks ready. It can even be more than 2 blocks. It can be 3 or 4. All right, we'll stand slightly behind those blocks, mountain pose. Okay, together. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale at swan dive.
Inhale, monkey pose, extending spine. Exhale, fold, and place that right hand on your blocks. Just kind of lean into the blocks with the right hand. This left hand will be somewhat free for a moment. Keep the knees soft, bend the knees, but put some weight into the right foot. Root strongly. Keep the knees bent, that way the leg muscles are engaged. You're not locked into the joint. If you need both hands on the blocks, do so, because that's going to help perhaps as you slide the left foot back and lift the leg up into the air. Flex that foot. Flex it. Keep lifting the leg, and what may happen is the hips start to open towards the left side of the room, and your torso starts to turn, opening to the left side of the room. And then maybe, if you can, extending left hand up into the air. This is half moon. We're using these stacked blocks, bringing the floor closer to you, so you can get a little bit more length perhaps in the standing right leg. I'm looking down at the floor because it helps with balance. Breathe in. Exhale, folding, maybe bringing left hand to the floor or blocks. Square out the hips. That left hip just drops, it just closes. Bend the left knee, bring the left knee in towards chest, rounding the spine like cat pose. Bring left foot down to the floor, reestablish balance on 2 feet. You'll be in forward fold. While in forward fold, feel free to move the blocks over to the other side. Let's just stay here and just continue. So just go ahead and extend the spine, monkey pose, hold here. So we got left hand now on the blocks. Knees are soft, slight bend there. Shift weight into left foot. Feel strong there. This right hand is free. It can be on the floor or just over here on the blocks as well. Okay? And then start to slide the right foot back as it leaves the ground. Flex the foot and just keep lifting up into the air. Flex the foot because that will engage the legs. As you keep lifting, the hip will follow and start to open you up sideways. Hips and then torso. Extending right hand up into the air as you're able. Keep flexing that right foot. It just keeps that leg nice and strong and energized as it's lifting into the air. That stacked blocks, once again, helps you to extend this left leg. You can't see this, but my left foot, my toes, are turned at an angle towards the right. That's creating an inner spiral in my leg so I can actually open up a bit more. You may need to do that. Check that out. Sometimes trying to get the toes to point directly forward, you may not be able to open as wide, just depending on the flexibility of your own hips. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind, fold. Right hand to the floor or block. Square out the hips. I even spun my left foot so all the toes are pointing forward. Bend the right knee, bring the knee in towards chest, rounding the spine, cat pose. Hands to the floor, balance on 2 feet. Okay, I'm just moving my block slightly forward here. Forward fold. Let's go back to standing. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing, reaching high. Big stretch there. Exhale, arms down by your side. Alrighty, so that's the last of the poses. So we're going to be working from triangle pose through the sequence. We've done most of it already, ending up in half moon. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get a sip of water, adjust your mats as you need to, get your blocks set up because we're going to start putting this sequence together. Now the pose will begin, or the sequence is going to begin with a tree pose and we'll step back into high lunge. So a lot of the postures we're going to be doing are all standing. Get your blocks ready. Okay, maybe first, maybe the 2 separated to act, I call them stilts. Okay, and just so get your stilts ready. Okay, all right, mountain pose. Let's take a few breaths here. All right, we start with tree pose. So start shifting your weight into right foot. Root into the floor. Inhale, long spine, feel tall. Fill up the lungs. Exhale, engage belly, lifting left foot. Swing the knee out to the side. Plug foot into the standing leg. Establish the balance and your focus. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, core connected. Tree pose. Couple breaths. Flowing from here. Keeping arms extended. Let's swing left knee forward. Lifting knee, flexed foot. Now you'll bend your right knee a little bit more, softening it up. Start to hinge forward, reaching out through the arms, but start extending the left leg back behind you, and then step down, landing on your toes. You'll be in high lunge. Once you're in high lunge, lift to extend the legs. Pivot left heel to the floor, arms to parallel, prepped for triangle. Push hips back, reach way out, triangle pose. Right there. First pyramid, lift, turn, fold and bend, reach behind you. Okay, listen carefully. Bend right knee, get your stilts. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you, establish this alignment. Shift weight forward into right foot so you can kick that left leg up high enough until you feel something in the hamstring, and then set the foot down onto the balancing beam behind right heel. Shifting weight back into the left heel, extending spine. Balancing beam or second pyramid. Okay, now we're getting ready for our half moon pose. Here we go. Shifting weight forward again. Put weight into the right foot. Pick up the left leg. Take it up into the sky. Flex the foot. Then you can restack these blocks on the right side here as high as you need to. Flexing the left foot. Lifting. I even turned my right foot, little bit of a corner turn there to get a little bit more opening in the hips. There we are. Extending left hand up into the air. That feels great. Okay, just that little turn of the foot. It's actually the turn of the leg. It's an inner spiral, which gives you a little bit more space so you can really open up wide here if you desire. Okay, breathe in. Exhale. Left hand to the floor or blocks, square out the hips. So the left leg kind of lowers, squared out hips. Bend the left knee, bring the knee in towards chest. Set the foot down next to the other. Balanced on 2 feet, forward fold. Restack your blocks, get them ready. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, coming all the way up, reaching high. Exhale, arms down by your side. So it's all standing poses. Let's do the other side, starting with tree. Shifting weight into left foot. Long spine, inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your belly. Lifting right foot up off the floor, flexing the foot, keeping the legs strong. Swing the knee out to the side. Plug it in. Inhale, reach both arms up into the air. Reach and hold. Keep arms extended. Swing right knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Bend the left knee. Hinge forward, reaching out. Extending the right leg back. Set the toes down. High lunge. Lifting up, straightening the legs. Pivot right heel to the floor, arms to parallel. Prep for triangle. Push hips back, reach out forward so you can really take that deep triangle pose. Lift, turn, pyramid. Coming down halfway, reaching back. Okay, we're going to bend the left knee so we can go down and get those blocks, our stilts, with the hands. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Just establish your balance and a re-extended spine. Step the stilts forward so you can balance on left foot, extending right leg up into the air. Feel the hamstring engage, and then bring foot down behind the left heel on the balancing beam. Shifting the weight back onto that heel, using those stilts to stay lifted to help you extend the spine. Make sure you're squeezing to inner thighs. All right, next balance. Step the blocks forward again, shifting weight into the left foot. Pick up the right foot, flexing it as it leaves the ground, lifting it high. Changing my block formation so I can get my left hand on the blocks here. Flexing the right foot, lift. Even get the left foot, actually I'm going to do it now. I'm going to turn my toes at a bit of a corner, a little bit of an angle. Lift, open. Right hand reaching into the air, half moon. You wouldn't even notice that the foot is turned to get this nice opening. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, bring the right hand to the floor. Square out the hips. Bend the right knee, bring it in towards chest, rounded spine. Plant the foot. Forward fold. Get the blocks ready for the next time. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, rising all the way up. Reach high. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. Good. Take a few deep breaths, roll your shoulders. Now, and the very style that you're very used to with me is that we just did a nice kind of a slow breakdown. Now we're going to go through that whole sequence again, just really flowing, moving with breath. Do your very best. I'll try to give good instruction and clear instruction for you. Okay, so a lot of just flowing through these balancing standing postures. Triangle pose to half moon. Alrighty, mountain pose, here we are. Start shifting weight into right foot. Long spine. Start lifting left foot. Swing the left knee out to the left side, placing foot on the inside of the standing leg. Let's take the arms up into the air. Reach and stretch. Still moving immediately. Turn left knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Bend the right knee. Hinge forward with the upper body. Extend left leg back. Land on your toes, high lunge. Nice and tall here. Straighten both legs. Pivot and open to prepped triangle. Reach out. Tip it over, triangle pose. Just a nice extension here. Turn to pyramid. Okay, we found our pyramid. Or you need to go get those stilts. So bending the knee, catch those blocks. But just keep moving forward to that left leg lifts for the hamstring engagement. Set the foot down behind the other on the balancing beam. Find that balance, extending through spine. Half moon. Let's get the blocks out in front again. Lean forward. Balance on right foot. Left leg just swings up into the air, opening up sideways. There's our half moon. Turn. Hands to the floor. Square out the hips. Left knee comes in towards chest, rounded spine. Plant the foot, forward fold. Adjust your blocks. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming all the way up, reaching high. Exhale, arms down by your side. See how quick that was? Other side, tree pose, shifting weight into left foot, root down, nice and tall, lengthened spine. Pick up the right foot, flexed foot. Swing the knee out to the side, placing foot on the inside of your leg, yeah. Inhale, take the arms up into the air. Exhale to quickly hold. Keep arms in the air, swing right knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot. Bend the left knee, hinge forward so we can extend right leg back, set the toes down, high lunge. Get nice and perpendicular to the floor here. Then rise straight up, straightening the legs. Pivot right heel to the ground. Turn, open to your prepped triangle position. Take triangle, reach out. Rotate the arms, reach up and down. Turn so you're facing the floor. Fold and bend pyramid. Right there, find it. Bend the left knee, kind of diving forward to catch your stilts so you can balance on left leg. Right leg goes up into the air. Feel the hamstring, but bring the foot down behind the other balancing beam. Once it's landed, shift the weight back into that back heel. So there's a firm balance on both feet with an extended spine. Take the hands forward so you can rebalance on left foot. Right leg can just swing right up into the air. Flex the foot, almost like helium. It's just taking that leg right up into the air, turning the torso open, right hand up. Half moon. Good, let's unwind. Bring the hand to the floor, square out the hips. Bend the right knee, bring knee in towards chest, rounded spine, foot to the ground. Balanced, right there, forward fold. Let's flow from here. Monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor, hop or step back, plank pose, back down to the ground. Chaturanga Dandasana, right here. Inhale, upward facing dog. This will complete our sequence. Downward facing dog. Pause here for a moment. And we're going to take a seat. So you can hop forward, cross your legs to take the seat. Roll down onto your back. Hug knees into chest. Take some deep breaths here. Maybe some circles here just to massage the low back and hips. Even take a moment to circle the feet since your feet are free. Circle the ankles here. Just realize how much we needed to rely on the feet for all that balancing work. Great job. All right, let's go right into a twist. So we'll take the knees over to the left side as you extend your right arm off to the right side and just start to settle in, start to find some stillness. Notice your breathing because you might be slightly out of breath. I know I am. And start taking deep breaths, deep cleansing breaths to come back to that baseline
of slow, deep breathing that we established at the beginning of the class. I want to give you plenty of time to rest in Shavasana. So we won't hold here too long, maybe 2 more breaths. When you're ready, just come back up to center, hold center for a few seconds. And then you can take knees over to the other side. Spinal twist. Check in with breath, holding this twist as long as you need. When you're complete, come back to center, perhaps another hug, and just check in. And if you need to move into any other restorative posture here, feel free. It might be happy baby pose, which I'm going to do, or you can move right into Shavasana. If you're ready for your rest and relaxation and meditation, just go ahead and move right into Shavasana. Or if there's any other pose you'd like to take right here, please feel free. Right now I'm in happy baby pose, just to get into the hips a little bit more. This also affects my low back in a nice way. I'll take reclining cobbler's pose. And again, whenever you feel complete, you can just make your way to Shavasana. Just long, straight legs out in front of you, arms resting down by your side. Almost, they can even be a little away from the body. That might even feel a bit more comfortable. Relaxing the feet, your legs, your hips, your back, your head, shoulders, arms, and hands. Hold here with slow, steady breaths. Feel free to close your eyes to take your meditative journey inward. You can also keep your eyes opened. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. In this restful place. And if you set an intention at the beginning of your practice, this is also a nice time to return to that intention. You're ready to move, and there's certainly no rush to move. Start with 5 slow breaths. And after your 5th breath, taking your time, roll onto either side of your body, just moving into a nurturing pose. From here, slowly guiding your way up to seated. Find a comfortable seat. Nicely extended spine. Relax shoulders, arms, and hands. Hold in stillness for a moment. And then one more movement together. Inhale, extend your arms all the way up into the air. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold here in stillness. One more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.